Hello everyone, this is TechStack here. We are back. We are going to work on the mod. The mod has been discovered what it is about. It has been guessed as these guys are duking it out for supremacy right now. Right? They are working, right? So I've got it set up so that these blocks, these garrison blocks, which take on the color of the team that they represent, will spawn a minion of the team that they represent based on these fake players that I've got set up, basically, right? Those fake players are on the various teams, and then they will duke it out, not against each other of their own team, but of the other team. Hey, Tinkerbell. I've also got it set up now where if we were to spawn in some that are under my control, instead of those green ones, because the green guys are not my control, 4 of them in, and let's just break these blocks so that they don't keep spawning. I'm going to right click on each of these guys with anything in my hand. It doesn't really matter. At least that's how it's working for now. I do plan on having some different control methods, but then I put this sample item in my hand and right click on a block, and those guys will start to walk towards the block. Now, there's a few issues with it. Looks like we did click on this guy. There is a few issues with this. One of them being once you get a large enough crew of guys, minions, whatever, coming at a specific spot, they kind of fight over it, right? Because they're all trying to go to that same spot. So one of the ways that I want to try and combat that is if I get something, say, an end rod here, that would probably be a good example of what we can use to demonstrate this. What I want to do is, like, if we clicked on this block, it considers that to be the front. Not sure how we'll figure out the direction. I guess that's something I'll have to figure out still. But what I want to do is that becomes our block that we're moving towards. I want to set one of the entities to go to that block, another one to that block, and that block if there's 3, right? If there's more than 3, then maybe we'll do, a formation like that, or a formation like that. So dynamically get these guys set up in columns, basically. It is not going to be an easy task. I think the max group size probably needs to be something like, I don't know. I was going to say 8 by 8, but that'd be a even number then, right? So it's going to shift off to one side then. So this is, say, let's do something else as that middle block that we clicked on. So let's say we clicked on that one. Doing this is pretty straightforward, right? We've got 2 to each side. Going back, that gives us a total of 10. We did 8 wide, though. That gives us 9. 9 isn't too bad of a formation either. And then from there, it would just start extending back up to however many units we would have, right? So it'd be filled in something like this. And you're getting quite a few entities at that point. Now, will this be foolproof, 100% reliable to do this? I don't think so. And the reason being is, what if I were to click on, say, that block there, right? So this becomes our target block. One guy's going to need to go down there. One guy's going to need to go down there. Another one there. Another one there, etc., right? And it starts to get a little ugly, especially if we went all the way out to that max width. Say that's the max width. Yeah, 3 on each side. Then we would start to come down here next, I guess. I mean, not the end of the world, right? But not ideal either. So maybe there needs to be some type of formation shape that we can set, or some indication of what the formation will be before. I don't really know. But these guys are just chilling up here because we haven't told them to go down there. They listen to me as far as which spot to go to over their desire to go wreck faces, right? Now, up to a point. So if we come over here, the first guy to get there is going to reach his destination, and the second guy and the third guy, right? And now they're on their own. They're going to start jumping into the mosh pit down there and get killed. Because they're no longer directly under my control, because they've met their goal of meeting that spot or whatever. So They're a little bit funky. It doesn't help that there's 7 trillion of these green guys down here. Stop them guys from spawning. Fact here. Bend the herd a little bit. And it should be enough to kill a couple of them at least. Yeah, and so I guess we'll just need to think through how to do this. So I've been fully aware that controlling these guys is going to be one of the hardest aspects of this whole thing. How is there a block thing up there? That's interesting. Come on, you guys need to die. How the heck? Is it hitting above their heads? Whatever. Damage potions. Damage 2. So I need to think through how the controls are actually going to work. The right-clicking or clicking on each individual guy. Oops, that was not the very friendly click. Clicking on each of these guys and then saying go here is not super efficient. You also have no indication of which guys you've clicked on. Now, we're not seeing those guys move because they're not my control. Get one of my guys in. Okay, there he is. If I right-click on him, and then right-click over here, he's going to come to it. So, I mean, it works. What I don't favor is I can't go like that and click on that fence and you move towards the fence, right? Because it's limited to the block I can actually click on with this. I would prefer to be able to say, go over there, please, right? Because if I'm targetable by these green guys, I'm in trouble, right? So if I were to go game mode 0 or survival, and I have no food, awesome. See, they're gonna start trying to get to me. They can't because of the way this walkway is set up, but they're gonna want to get to me. And the only way for me to call my reinforcement in is to click on a block. And if I want him to go down there, I gotta click on a block out there, right? So come to me. And now I've got to wait for him to come to me. He's trying, which is good. But look what I got to deal with until he gets out here. Now, yes, this is only one guy, so he's going to get wrecked. But if it was a whole team of people, it'd be different. Okay, don't get wrecked, dude. Are they all targeting me first? That's hilarious. Oh, okay, there we go, guys going for him. Hey, Space Engineers. Let's get back up here. Oh, he died. I think I can figure out from a given block what's the word I want to use? Arrangement of what the entities should be based on a number, right? So if there's one guy, we want it to be just one post, right? One spot. If there's 2, then we just do side by side because there's nothing else we can do. If there's 3, then we can do a line. If it's 4, then we're doing 2 by 2. Things like that. Holy crap, there's a train coming after me. I'm glad I got the fence in here. Let's get out of survival. Creative. So maybe here, let's do this. Kill at E. Type equals TSRTS. By the way, the cat is out of the bag. Someone's guessed what it is. RTS, real-time strategy game. That's what the mod's about. And that TSRTS was on the screen about 1 billion places. That's what we kept talking about. Okay, so let's figure these designs out. So this will be the part we clicked on. We'll have 2 be like that. 1 is going to be this, right? So that'd be 2. 3 would be this. 4 would be that, I guess. And where it gets difficult is, do I pick it like that, or do I pick it like that, right? That gets a little trickier. Or do we do something like that? That might make the most sense. Because that means all three guys are closest to that block then, right? Okay. So that's 4, right? 3 and 1, yeah, 4. This will be 5. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess that's the simplest solution, right? Go the point by itself, right? Then for every... what is it, odd or even? I don't know. So this is an even. That's an odd for even. Odd. Okay, so we would take the point. The first guy goes there. The second guy goes directly behind him if it's even. If it's odd, though, we get to put one on each side of this. So we need to know if it's even or odd. So we need to know if it's divisible by 2. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to work out the math in my head. How this is going to work. Okay, so that's 5 wide. We want to go up to 9 wide, I think we said. So 2... Wait, that guy won't be there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then for 8, it's another even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 8 in the middle. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be as wide as the formations will go. And then they start going back from there. So then the next one up. This is where it starts to break down, I think. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side. 2, 3, 4. That's 4, 3, 4. Okay, so we got 4 on each side. This is the next formation. And the one after this is the problem. Because what do we do? Do we do it so they're like that? I mean, I guess. We'll need to figure out a direction of facing too. Which could be derived from the direction the player's facing. So if I'm facing north right now, these guys all need to end up facing north, or at least ideally. So that would be the front, and that means east and west are our directions from that point that we want to move to north. So that is the biggest one. That's the next one. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Boom, boom. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 3 like that. It's that, or we do this type of formation. think it should be that. Let's see if we can figure out the first row first and go from there. First 2 rows, I guess, like this. Trying to even think how to work out how that could be done without having to wait on the entities to move. We could do it with blocks, right? We could represent it by clicking with the item and it places the blocks in the proper spots based on what it thinks it should be, like where their location should be. And I guess we could use end rods. End rods facing up. Okay, let's see what I can do here. Sample item. We are going to, on item use, we're going to create another piece here. We're going to get formation points, is what we'll call it. And it's going to take a block position. BP. Okay. And wait, set formation points. We'll call it that. And it's going to be a public void, because we don't want to return anything from this, I don't believe. Unless it's an array of block positions, but we'll figure that out. Yeah, let's go ahead and terminate, because we're going to need to write quite a bit of code here. So, from this block position, we need a size too, don't we? Int size. So this is going to be, we have 1 unit selected, or we have 90 units selected, or whatever, right? We'll call this. What are we doing here? So let's figure out if it's even or odd first. That's simpler. So boolean, so boolean is true or false, is even. Okay, and that's going to equal size modulus, this percent symbol, 2. Okay. If that equals 0. So if that equals 0, that means there's no remainder when it divides by 2, and it's an even number. Okay, so we know if it's even. Zero would still be considered even, I guess, but that's okay. But we should never have to do anything if it's 0. So if size is 0, size equals 0, then we are just going to return, not do anything. Okay, so now we know it's bigger than 0. We need a direction. Direction is actually a thing in Minecraft, so direction. Save, and that should import the library for that. Oops. Uh-oh. This one, please. We might need the player as well. Oh no, the player, we can pass that in from the player. So that's what I was thinking we need player for, but we'll put it wherever we're going to call this from. Okay. Not going to be concerned about direction yet. I want it there for when we need it. So first, let's go. Create another method here that will be the action we take when we find each of these spots. So public void, in this case, formation point set, or set formation point. Okay, and that is going to take in the block position, BP, and basically we're going to, in this version of it, set a block there, and that block's going to be the we need world as well, the end rod. World's really not needed for any of the calculations, but world's needed to be able to set a block. Okay. And we'll say world dot set block state at BP, and the state is going to be blocks dot end rod. And really rod. Okay. Dot get default state dot with property direction, or is it facing? I don't know. So let's look at the end rod real quick. Hey, blue boy. That's voxel shapes. Where's our fill state container? There it is. It is a facing property on this. Okay. So we can say property facing block state properties dot facing, and our direction is going to be direction dot up. Ta-da! That should set our block for us. So we can say set formation point world block position, and world will be the world from this, and block position is going to be what? We also need to loop through the entire array of spots based on the size, right? Or the array of entities that we'll have passed into this at some point. So we've got for, in this case, for int I equals 0. I found out I still enjoy doing all I used to enjoy, but just have to force myself to do it. Otherwise I just lay around and think about things. Yep. Sometimes when I'm feeling bad, like when my shoulders bother me too much, it gets me down and I can't function. So forcing myself to start doing it, and then I just forget about it. So that's part of the reason I'm streaming right now, or how I'm streaming right now. Okay, there we go. Now, with that, we need to figure out what row and column we're in each time. Okay, so... oh boy. Int row equals 0. Int columns equals 0. Okay, so we're going to say BP dot back dot what? North, south, east, or west. Or we can do offset based on the direction. So let's do that. So we got direction dot offset, and we're offsetting it by a direction. So the direction is going to be direction dot opposite. So it'll be back 1 from us. Yeah, walled my depression for a good week, now not doing much, and I found out unless I force myself to do it or have a friend force me to, I just stay there forever. I have to force myself to eat. Sometimes you gotta do that, man. And get an opposite position to it. So if it's north, it'll be south. But how do I go to the right? Do I have a right? Right. Rotate. If you stay busy, you think you'll be okay. Okay, man. I hope you'll be okay, man. I could do the rotate once. That would be to my right. And then this would be to the left. You finish, I'll finish the semi-trailers one of these years. Okay. And I'll come back to the grader still. In fact, I need that. I don't remember if I got the latest one out of Discord or if I got the first one you sent me out of Discord. I'll have to check. I need to grab it before it gets too far back there. So going to the one backwards. Oh, I don't have it up anymore. Dang it. So remember we had... Let's do Photoshop, I guess. New. Hey, Reaper. So we got our center guy there. If it's an even number, we need to do that, right? And if it's a odd number, then we need to do that. And then the next even becomes that. And then that, without this one down here. Come back to a whole bunch of minions. Yep. That. And then this. Like that. It's all relative to that center point. I need to figure out how wide it's going to be in advance. So there's got to be some formula I can use to do this. If there's one, it's one. That's easy. Why my brain make it hard? I've got the basic concept of it, but not a scenario where I can make a formula that would work in every situation. Yes, I know you want snowmen. I'm not gonna add another machine right now, especially for just harvesting snow. I know you're talking about the Zamboni, which doesn't harvest snow, it just flattens ice, man. Or smooths it. So if there's 4, it's 3 wide. Yeah, I know. And I've made the decision long ago that my mod's not about auto crafting. It's a lot of other types of automation, but not auto crafting. Love you too, man. So I mean, if it's less than 9, and odd, that is its width. So if it's odd, not on stream, Reaper. Jeez. Width equals well, we'll set to 0 first, right? Because that's the default state. Then we'll say if it's not is even. So if it's not even, so this is odd, then the width equals the size. But only if size is less than 9, right? That was the number we said for each side. Four. That's the center point. 4. So if it's less than 9. So if it's even and less than 9. So if size is equal to or less than 9, I guess, then width equals size. Okay, and if it's greater, so else, then our max width is 9. Okay, and if it is not odd, that means it has to be even. And we're going to stick one of the guys behind. So if we had 8 guys, that means we're 7 wide. Right? We'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the 8th guy to be behind. So we do size equal, well, we still need to do the if this. Alright, so if it's less than 9, then size minus 1. And if it's greater than 9, so say there's 11, 12, 14, 20 people in this, then it's going to be 9 as our width. Okay. We're getting somewhere. And then int depth equals what? So if we know that there's 9 across, we're only going to count a full row in the depth, I think. Okay, so the extra peep guy back here is not going to count. So if we had 25 people, the first row is going to be 9. The second row is going to be 9. That's 18. That should give us 7 in the last one. So that's 3 rows deep. So if we took the 25 divided by 9 and always push it up 1, so always round up, basically. So 25 divided by 9 in integers would be 2. And then we could check the modulus, I guess, to see if there's anything left over. If there is, we need to add 1 to it. So let's do that. So if depth, or if width is greater than, it's equal to 9, really, right? That's the only case we're going to have more than 1 depth. Else, Depth equals 1, right? Because we're less than 1, or less than 9, I guess. And in here, we're going to take size divided by 9. Temp depth int. Okay, and then the modulus of size divided by 9. So size %9 gives us int temp mod. So that's your remainder, right, of the math. Oops. And if there's anything on that, so if temp mod equals anything greater than 0, then we need to say depth equals temp depth plus 1. Else depth equals temp depth. Boom. Okay, so we've got our depth and our width and our size calculated. So if we know the width, we can divide that width by 2. You can subtract 1 from it and divide it by 2. I think. I don't think we want to use the I equals less than or equals 0 less than size anymore, because we've figured out a depth and a width. We just need to set a counter instead, and then we cycle through the depth and the width. We can set a width offset. What's another better word? Int width offset, I guess, sure. And that, so we need to find the center point of the width. So if it's even again, the center point is weird. It's offset equals 0. So if even else odd with offset equals so we got 1, 2, and our width in this case is 1. Yeah. So if we had, oops, 3, that's an even 1. We need our offset to be 1 less. So we subtract 1 from it, divide it by 2, and that's our offset. Subtract 1 from it, divide it by 2, that would give us 2. What's our offset? Yeah. And that's when it's odd. This is really complicated. So width offset equals the width divided by 2 after we subtract 1 from it. What does it not like? I spelled it wrong. Okay, so now if it's even, it's still the same thing. Our width minus 1 divided by 2. Yeah, so those are both the same. Okay, so now we got the width offset, we can set that in there. And now we can loop through everything, I think. So we'll say for int x equal, it's not really x. Okay, we'll do I equals 0, but I is less than or equal, less than width. Yep, plus I plus plus. Okay, and then the depth piece of it for int j equals 0. J is less than depth. J plus plus. Okay, and then we need to take this I value, which initially would be 0, and go plus I. And that's a negative value there. What are you complaining about? Too many, not enough? What? There we go. I think that's mostly right. The part that's not right is if it's going to be the back person, the back individual, whatever. But for that, we would just need to know that it's even. If is even. We call this once and once only. This is offsetting to one direction, setting it to the left. Then we also need to offset it another direction. Offset direction dot get opposite, comma j. Oh, wrong spot. Okay, so now we're going to go back one more than our depth. So that's what this part is. Depth plus 1. And our offset for this one is nothing. So we can eliminate that whole offset. There. I think that's right. It's worth testing at least, let's put it that way. Okay, so then we're gonna do this in that spot, and we're gonna call world block position size, which we need to figure out, and direction. Okay, so For direction, we're just going to say dot north for right now. We'll figure out the rest of that later. For size, we're going to start counting when we loop through these selected entities. So we're going to say int count equals 0. And in here, when we select one, when we have one selected, I guess, count equals just plus plus. So it's adding 1 to it each time. Okay, then world is going to be context dot get world, and context dot get position, and our count goes there. Okay, let's run it. Fingers crossed, drum rolls, please. Let's see here.
Just because it goes shallow doesn't mean it's 30.
Reaper, you out there still? With your girlfriend? Because I have you on recording.
Just because it goes shallow doesn't mean it's 30.
Subscribe now. Access granted.
I forgot I had this soundboard. This is awesome.
Here we go.
At least we're when I'm by myself.
Welcome.
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 That's all I got. Okay, so boop, nothing happens because we don't have any guys selected. Cool. Let's get some guys. And right click you. Boop. And pow! Okay, so first mistake is it's replacing the block it's clicked on, so we'll offset everything up 1. So this dot up. Okay, so now if I click it, it goes on the surface, which is what we want. Okay, so let's get another guy. And spawn in. And select him. And right click. Ooh, it's only doing 1. So this piece here isn't firing then. But our depth is what? Let's just put a breakpoint there. See if it runs. No, there. Stop it. Here we go. Boop. Okay, so we'll switch to debug mode. What is our depth? It is 1. One plus 1. Well, let's get 3 guys and see what it does, because I'm not sure what's going on yet. Yeah, right click you and go there, and it's just one of them. What the heck? Is it only this one that's running? That didn't run at all though. Okay, so let's just pause there then. Boop. What is our count? It is 3. Our offset is 1. So that means it should go 1 to the left, place the guy there, 1 in the middle, and 1 to the right. Because we will go from 0 to 3. 0 to 2. 0, 1. Yeah, that's right. And our depth is 1. So step over, step over. It does go into it. What is that value going to equate to? It is -1. That's correct. And J is still 0. So step over you. We're now at 0. Third time through, we're now at 1. And we should not be even. So it placed 3 blocks, or should have. But it did not. Is it that they're not showing? Ah, they're not showing. Cool. So down here in set block, we need to say 3. So now, yeah, I'm stuck on those invisible blocks. If I go like this, I hit a breakpoint. Come on. Stop it. Remove the breakpoint. There we go. Reaper. The heck? Is this only happening on the client side? If it is not world, it is not remote. What the heck? We did a set block somewhere else for something. In the tile entity itself. Or the garrison block. Actually in the tile entity owned, I think. Right there. This.world set block. Yeah, number 3. Position and all the state information. Okay. Where's our item again? Sample item. Block position, which is all that. Huh. Yeah, let's just pause in there and run it, I guess. Figure out what's going on. Oops. Okay, so our block position is what? Watch. -120. -113. 119, 113, 118, 113. So it is trying to place them in the correct spots, but for some reason this is not working. Just show us. Okay, so set block state. What do you do with value number 3? Hey, blue boy. Have you heard this?
Just because it goes shallow doesn't mean it's 30.
Trying to get Reaper to say something, because that's Reaper. I got him a long time ago with that. And I just remembered I had it recorded. Mark and notify blocks. He says he does. So flags in 2, so anding it together is a 2. Don't force it, man. It'll happen. This is remote. You're fine. That is not spamming chat at all. So let's see if it's even trying to notify the neighbors that I got updated. Actually, that's not even what we're after, is it? Split off emergent set block. Method in order to directly send client and physics updates. Okay, where is the client update? That's the part I need to know. Is it this? Because I want to know if that's getting called. If it is. I sent Mr. Crayfish an email asking for assistance in my lore and legacies mod, and he never answered. Given the amount of communication that he probably receives, A, don't be disappointed by that. He may not have even seen it. And B, if he may not check it every single day, right? He might like sit down on a weekend and go through his mail or something. And he probably gets lots of offers for, hey, do you want to work on my mod? Okay, well, let's just run this, see if this does get executed on this line or not. I don't know that it will, but we will find out. I have no idea. I don't know many mod authors. Technically, don't know any of them personally. Okay, so it's not getting executed then. Oh, wait. There it is. For only one of them? The heck? Only one of them gets it. How does that work? I'm beginning to wonder if I need to restart Minecraft. Yeah, let's restart Minecraft because this is behaving funny, and I want to make sure that the changes that we made to the code are actually in the version that's running, because sometimes, very rarely, sometimes Clips does that. Okay, Blue Boy.
Access granted.
Here we go.
I mean, if this doesn't work, this isn't our ultimate goal of setting a block. We're just trying to set some positions for the entities. So I'm not going to be heartbroken if I can't get it to work. I just need a way of checking it. That's why I'm doing it. Okay. Oh, I don't have anything selected. Third. You're still my guy, right? You're still my guy. You're still my guy, even though you're not showing it. And we're breaking here. 3 of those, and then just 1 of those. And then 3 more of those. What did you do? Okay, it's the right shape. Let's just go with it. Sorry guys, one of you gotta die because I got all three of you selected. No, don't escape. Dang it. Get over here. It's gonna be you. Has to be. No, don't look at me that way. Oh yeah, sword would work so much better, wouldn't it? Okay, we got two selected now. So, hope. Uh-oh. There's the second one. It's not there. Now, why is that? Okay, so let's get rid of this breakpoint. And check down here if this even got called. Because it is even in this case, so that should run. Let's try it one more time. Boop. Okay, is even is true. We step into that piece of code. Our depth is 1. Our block position is what? Why is our depth 1? Do we want to use J for this? So it's really the depth is what we need, isn't it? Or depth minus 1 plus 1. Sure. Run. Okay, so the heck you running for now? There it is. It's too far away. Okay, so stop breaking every 2 seconds. Huh? It's 2 away again. I mean, this shouldn't make a difference, but that is how we want it. We're offsetting from the opposite direction. So it should be to the south. Oops. Which we are looking in the south direction. So it is south. And N is the number of blocks. So 1 minus 1 should be 0 plus 1 should be 1. So we should offset by 1 to the south. It went 2. Is it because we didn't save? It was because we didn't save. Awesome. Okay. Now that we've got an array of things out here, we need more guys. Or we need less guys. One of the two. So there's only one selected. We should get 1 end rod. And that's what we got. Okay, so let's let these guys spawn in like crazy. So we're gonna need a bunch of them now. Stop it. I choose you. That gives us 2. And we get the 2 in the right spot. Oh, no, don't die. Dang it. Yeah, I'm a bit tired. I'll be fine. We got 2 selected still, apparently. Okay, this is enough, guys. We got 3 selected. Yep. 4 selected. It's working so far. 5. Awesome. 6. There we go. 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nothing there. Awesome. We're getting there. It's going to work, I think. It's just a matter of when I get to that second row if it's going to work. Okay, we went from that to that shape. That's correct. The next shape should be our max width. Just go right behind it, I guess. Cool. Wait, did we not select another guy? That's the same shape. Wait, we are already at the max shape, right? We must have got 2 more. Don't worry about that, because clicking them is probably not going to be how we're going to select them. It's just temporary for now. I wonder if I got 2 by mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But we got this shape going. Which is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How does that even work? Let's just put a pause. Breakpoint here. I just want to see what the size is when we do this. It's 9. Which is not even. So how did we get that back one? It's false. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Huh? Yeah, haha. The depth was off. That's what's wrong. So our depth number was too much. So if it's greater than, or if our width is greater than or equal to 9, then our depth equals size divided by 9, which would be 1 in this case. And then we're taking the modulus of that, and if that's greater than 0, we're adding 1 back into it. In this case, our modulus would have been 0, but we needed to be greater than 0. I think that's the bug. Modulus just gives you the remainder from a division, basically. Okay, let's try this again. Boop. Run, run. Should be nothing there. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Wait, you only have 3 selected? Wait a minute. Did some guys despawn? Well, there's your problem. They despawned on me. Apparently one despawned after he's pushed the thing too. Actually, let's do this. Let's make sure the world is showing correct. Okay, so there's only 2 guys here. I'm gonna select you. I'm gonna right click and remove the breakpoint thing for the moment. Yeah, we get the 1 block, which is what we expected. Let's do that. And then you already follow me. You are. Okay. Boom. And then that. It doesn't matter. I'll change it so they can't spawn without the name tag, because technically, if you look at these guys, they've got names. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's get you all to move over here. Okay, so you're new. 9. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And nothing behind. Let's go grab us one more minion. Dang it, they all despawned. It's getting too far away. Oh, they're there. Okay. So this should be 10. Do it over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh. No! Okay. So we can get it to work up to 9. Which is already kind of a lot of guys to have in the thing. Yeah, I get why it's doing it. I'm just racking my brain how I'm gonna fix it though. So in that case, our depth would have been 2, right? For the first row and the second row. When we're at that depth of 2, our J would have been 1. So J is 1 less. J is 1. J plus 1 equals depth, basically. When that occurs, we only need to put in as many as we have left. Right? Because let's say we have 6 rows, and that 6th row is going to have the remainder of whatever's left. So in the case of the 25 that we're talking about, the first row would have 9, the second row would have 9, and then that last row would have 7. And that's what we need to figure out how to deal with, is that last row. Right? All the other rows are going to be a full fill out, but the last row is going to have the remainder in it. So we need to put an if statement in here that says if J. Ooh, do we flip these? I think we do flip them as well. Let's do it like that. Okay. If excuse me, J plus 1 equals depth. So we're on our last row. Last row. Else we just do the normal calculation, right? We're okay there. But in this case, we need to figure out what that remainder would be, right? And account for that remainder only, changing our width offset by that much, and how much we loop through this one, how many width we actually do. Our width value should basically change on that last row. So first off, int temp width equals width TTH. Hey, Never. That's not going to really work very well either unless we look at I equals 0 for this. We could. First person in this last row, basically, right? Or, that's probably more likely, we do something special for the last row only. Like we're doing down here for this. So we know our size. Okay, and let's get a calculation for how many we've done, and then we can figure out how many are left. And put that into our last row, I guess. And int or I equals 0. So the very last row we just use this own special thing for. And then down here we'll say I equals width. Okay, so we're going to create another loop in here that just deals with this special case. So int remain equals size minus our J times width. We've done 2 rows, so that'd be 0 and 1. We're on the third row, 2. So we've done 18, so that's right. Okay, and that's how many we need to put in this row, basically. Okay, and it's still going to be this calculation, I think. But width offset needs to change. We need to recalculate what width offset should be. And width offset should be remain minus 1 divided by 2. And I believe that lets us get rid of this as well. We'll see. I could be totally wrong on that whole thing. We'll find out though. Holy crap, we have a bunch of guys. We need to stop the spawning. Okay, so we have breakpoint set so we can get the size. That's all I want to know. You know what? Let's do this. TS RTS dot log helper or logger dot info size equals semicolon plus size. That way I don't have to try and put a breakpoint in there every time. What was our size? Our size was 10, so we had 10 individuals we needed to account for. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 works. Let's go for 11 now. What are you doing, dude? Oop. This? Me too, but I have a feeling it's going to take me a while because of things like this. Like, in order for this to be nice to play, I got a lot of work to do. So our size, oh, it was still 10. Okay, we didn't grab an extra guy. Did I click on you now? Are you just being smart and running out that way? No, you come back over here. Yeah, he was already in our group. Hey, Lake. How's it going? I don't like that it put it down there. It needs to be centered. How are you all jumping that? We got 11 now, but we've only done 10. Lake, this is a different mod altogether. The heck? Okay. That was not a success. I'm gonna change this to 2 because I'm tired of placing blocks every time, and I'm gonna right click somewhere and see if it works. It does not. The heck? I saved it. 1. No, what the heck? And 2. Is that? That's not right. It went 1 and. Nope. Okay, where in Minecraft are you being called so that we can get the proper flags on this thing? Because I thought it was 3. It doesn't appear to be 3. Add blocks to world. Oh, a state number 20. What does that do? The heck? No. So Lake, it's going to be an RTS in Minecraft. You can see my minions are following around my commands where I'm clicking here. I'm trying to work out formations right now so that we can get them to go into a meaningful spot, basically. Instead of this garbled up mess of players there's there, right? Characters. I want them to be organized and stand in a row like those inroads are. And
Just because it goes shallow doesn't mean it's 30.
real-time strategy. So we've got a few people here. I'm assuming most people don't know what this is still yet. So we've got this troop of people that are on Team Red. You can see they all got red shirts. If I place down a garrison block, which has a stupid texture right now, right? it will be on my team because I am on team red myself. If I come over here and place one and open up this GUI, which is the debug thing for right now, mark to green team. Every 10 seconds, this one will spawn a green guy. The green guys and the red guys do not like each other. Same is true for blue, which, why did that go blue? I don't know. Oh, that's the wrong block. Let's make it blue. And this one will be yellow. So 4 teams can place their garrisons to spawn minions. The tech level 1 minion will probably be just like this. He probably won't have a sword or anything. He will attack for you, right? You can control him around. My minions down there are wanting to get out and join the battle, right? So how I would do that, because they're not able to pass through there yet, they don't think about it. If I right click on a few guys, they will be added to my selection of characters. You can't see it right now, and this is not the method that I will use in the end for how to select people, but it's what we're using for right now. If I right click here, you'll see they all take off and start headed towards this. In fact, it's probably best if I just go ahead and right click out here because of this testing I'm doing. It's placing blocks too. They all take off and go to where I told them to go, and then they will fight from there, the other characters. So it's an RTS, right? You can see I've got an archery range block, so we're going to have guys that are ranged. We're going to have upgraded minions that'll have swords. We'll probably go through the different ages inside Minecraft, so stone, iron, diamond, etc. For their weaponry, maybe also upgrade their armor, so maybe we'll have some other upgrades, tech tree things that we can get, right? So that all your guys start spawning with armor on. The goal is to go and attack another player. These minions themselves, right now at least, do not break blocks. I don't know if we want them to break blocks or how that's going to work out, you know, so that you can break down an enemy's barracks or garrisons and stuff. We'll use the tech tree to upgrade. There was something else. Oh, so we're probably also going to have ore deposits in the world, just like normal Minecraft, right? So we'll have diamond, gold, iron, and stone. And what we'll do is we'll have these somewhere in the world. You will find them. You will claim them as yours by placing another block on top of them. It won't be a garrison block. It'll be like a mine block. And that will infinitely mine that block for you over time, collecting resources for you and your team. And those resources will be used to actually spend in the garrison block, the archery block, and so on, or the tech tree, for how to pay for stuff, right? Okay, man. No worries there. Let me break all these out because we're going to get a flood of characters running around trying to kill each other. So, why is this thing not placing all of the blocks? Like, it places them on the server side, but not the client. That's driving me nuts. In our set block call on our tile entity, in here, this is only on the server. We're saying world.setBlockState with the specific properties for it, and we're just passing a flag of 3, and that works flawlessly because that is what is triggering this to be red. Or blue. It's just instant. Why these? Why those? Don't work. Do a position. Is it the same blocks, set block state? We are in world set block, and This is in world set block. Ah. 2 will send the changes to the client. 4 will prevent the block from being rendered. 8 will force the re-renders to run on the main thread instead. 16 will prevent neighbor reactions, fences from connecting. Okay, don't care about that. Prevent neighbors from spawning drops. 64 will signify the block is being moved. Flags can be ORed together. So I tried ANDing them together. We need to OR them together. So we want to do 1, 2, ORed together, and 8, I think. Let's try that. 1, 2, and 8. 1, 4, 2, 4, 8. Probably more than we need to do, but still not doing it. There's nothing else setting a block. It's that one call. What if we don't go up? What if we do it in the ground where there's already a block there? This. It still just does the 1. F3H. Nope. A. Okay, it's not a rendering thing, so we just reloaded all the chunks. Huh. Uh-oh. Will cause a block update. Will send change to clients. Will prevent the blocks from getting rendered, which is what we don't want. But we're gonna try it because this seems to be acting funny as it is. And take it out of the server side. It still does it. The heck, man. Okay, well, we weren't intending to do the blocks anyway, right? We were going to make the entities go to the spot. So let's see how to go about doing that. Okay, so we're going to get a list of points back, I guess. And that list of points needs to correspond to each one of the entities that is selected. Let's do it that way. We're going to say list block positions is what it's going to return. And we're going to create a new, list block positions. LBP equals new list block positions, if that works. Don't know that it will. It does not. New array list. There we go. Okay, and return, I guess we say null. Size is 0 in that case. And then down below, every time instead of calling this, we add to this LBP array or list. So this dot add, and the block position we're going to add is this portion. And that goes away. Just like that. Yep. So here we can say lbp.add. Boop. Boop. And we're golden. Comment this out just because we don't need it, and I want to make sure it's not getting ran anywhere. So there is a spot where it's getting ran. No, we didn't return LBP, that's what it was. So return that. Okay, and if we're getting that list back, then we need to save that list. So list lock positions. LBP, sure. And we're going to loop through the list, so for yeah, this will work. LBP dot size, is it? Yeah, size. I'm gonna say LBP dot get I. Okay, and we also need to loop through this at the same time, I guess. So how are we gonna handle this? So let's actually just loop through that again. And instead, we'll do this in here, like that. And we need an I somewhere, so int I equals 0. And it sounds like my wife might be back, so I might stop here soon, guys. So no longer need to do count plus plus, we do I plus plus. And run it. Hopefully we don't get any weirdness like a index out of a range or something like that. Yeah, I guess we should check for nulls on this and that the sizes are over 0, blah blah blah. At least one. So if LBP is not equal to null, and LBP.size is greater than 0. Okay, here we go. Yes. The other thing we need to consider is we're not always looking at the top block. We'll have to deal with that. Okay, there's our minions. Let's select a minion. Tell him to go there. He should go directly to that spot and stop. Yep, he does. Let's select a second minion. They should line up along a direction, side by side. And yeah, their range at which they stop at the point is a little bit off, but it's working. They're side by side. Let's get the third guy. Should be all side by side or whatever. Oh, you're sloppy, guys. Really sloppy. So like they're stopping when they're within half a block of the block they're supposed to be at, or something like that. It's kind of why I wanted to do it with blocks instead at first. Come on, number 4. Stop trying to fight the other guys. Let's make these guys go there. This might be good enough for the immediate need. What I was trying to do was prevent them from pushing each other, and it's working for that because they're all trying to go to a different block. Actually, let's do this too. You guys need to go there. What are you gonna do? Still worked. Well, if y'all go up there... Let's get rid of that. Come off there, please. All of you come off there, please. Guys, can you not? Yeah, something's not working. Pro, I'm building an RTS in Minecraft. Set a breakpoint there. Let's see how many times we hit that breakpoint. So maybe something's getting messed up. Oh, we got this other breakpoint here. Switch. Okay, so 1. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's not looping through all of them because something's not being selected. Somehow. That's why only that guy is going to go. Hey guys, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So they remind you of the mini-me's from OpenBlocks? Yeah, I call them minions, but they're mini-me's from the movie, right? So it only gets ran once. What the heck? So that means that this is... Oh, is it somehow related to the list being already used? I need a way of knowing how many in order to set this, and that's what this is about. Okay, well, let's just for now do this again. It should, in theory, be the same number, but maybe it is not. Oh, I copied and cut it out. Boop. Okay, now let's run. Run. 2. The heck? And that guy goes to it. Do I only have one guy selected? I have 4 selected. Add, return the whole thing. Okay, not sure at all what is going on. Let's breakpoint there, I guess, instead. We'll move there, please. Okay, our size is what? 1. But our count is 4. So the first time through this, it gets 4 entities here, but we only add 1 block position? What the heck? Clearly this has screwed it up severely, so let's get rid of this piece of it and fix the rest of it. That's gotta be what it is, because when we had 9 guys, it was behaving funny too. So 4. What? Okay, so we're at a size of 1 still. Really? We didn't finish this loop, did we? Move all breakpoints. Come here, guys. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, our size is 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, 3. But our count is 4. Zero, 1, 2, 3. Ah, we need this back in. Because it's an even number. So that would be the right code there. How about now? There we go. They're in a T shape that I want. Okay, we need to also... It's going to bug me to death if I don't fix their stop range. So let's fix that as well. Going to be under minion entity. We've got a move to specify goal. Speed, length. Don't know which one it is. There is a within distance. Get target distance. So they're going within half a block. So let's do a tenth of a block. Target now. It's really weird. I'm clicking this block there, but they stopped there.
You can call me stupid. You can call me sheep. You can say I'm lazy.
Ah! Okay, I get it. So if I click here on this block, the center of this block is at 49.5. But they're looking at the integer value of it, which is 49, which is probably right there. And that's why they were stopping at that range. So to fix that, I need to adjust these points that they're targeting to be a whole block instead of a whole block position instead of a, what do they call it? A block position. So there needs to be a vector 3 instead, basically. Which will cause all of the code to break on all of the places, probably. But it's the reason for the issue. Yeah, because we can't use up if it's a... Within distance. This I position. What is an I position? It just has something that has an X, Y, and Z. But they're doubles, not integers. Get position there, okay. Which makes sense. This dot distance. This dot get X and this is get X. Is an I position as well. Can you? This is a vector 3? But the block position has a within distance. Oh, it extends vector 3. Oh! So we can use a vector 3. This is a vector 3D. Ah, it was a vector 3I though. I bet that I on that is integers. Yeah, X, Y, Z is integers. Within distance. So vector 3D doesn't have within distance. Bummer, man. It just means I would have to rewrite that piece of the code, though, is all. Although we are trying to navigate to the center. Let's make it even smaller, so that he pretty much has to be right on it. Is above. When is that calculated? To true. So they're not above if this isn't true. And they are above if it is true. So this within distance is really the whole puzzle. Which is using a squared distance squared call on the x, y, and z coordinates. So those would be our integer values of our destination. And use center. Which in this case was set to true. Why is there two of them with identical parameters? Oh, one's an I position, one's a vector 3i. Let's go back a sec. Which one is it? Okay, it's the one that's looking for the center point. So if it's using the center, then this delta offset is 0.5. So it is looking at the center of the block. What the heck? So we're getting the distance between the center of the block and whatever the position of the character is for all of those, and then a squared plus b squared plus c squared is what gets returned, and that is compared to the square of that distance there. If it's less than, then it's true. So I'm not getting why they're stopping. That's what that comes down to, because they really shouldn't. The square of that, yeah, it's going to be really tiny. 0.05 times 0.05 is 0.0025. It always should move, and it tries to move to the location. I really would like them to have a nice tight formation shape, even though they're not right now. Come on, you come over here now. You're an odd number, you should all be in a straight line. Fall in line, man. The further they move, the more that they get closer to it. Let's get these other guys. Boop. 2, 3 more. Come here, guys. I wonder if we can should make it so they can't push each other. See if that helps. They're definitely doing that T-shape. They're getting mixed up because different ones are being selected at different times, looks like. To be in different spots. But that is the T-shape we're after. Keep adding more guys to it. The other thing I could do is you can have squadrons that have multiple render points, but are each individual entities, or one big entity, I mean. So like right now, I'm not sure, is it my code that's selecting their points that's messing up, or is it just because they bump into each other and this guy got out of line because of it? And what was that about? Everybody switched positions. They're ordered different each time. How do I make them form formations logic-wise? So that's what all of these were about. Based on whether... So they'll form... I'm going to say this. If it's an even number, they'll do this. They'll have one here, one there if it's two. So if it's one, they'll do this guy. If it's two, it's these two. If it's three, they'll go 1, 2, 3. If it's 4, they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that odd man, or the even man that wouldn't be centered, goes behind, right? And it keeps doing that until it gets to be this wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wide, right? Then that 10th guy goes back there, and then from there is where it gets funny, and I know it's broken. But it should be something like, I don't know, do this, right? Next, and then that, and then that. And it just keeps growing until it gets to be like this, then this, and then the next one becomes that, and then it starts over again, and it just repeats that pattern. I've got the front line working. I've got the, this type of setup working. That's what all these things all over the world are about. I was testing it with end rods first. But my issue was, so Red, I know you've looked at Minecraft code before. You know when you set a block, there's some flags at the end of the set block command that says whether or not it updates the client, basically, and a few other things. But what was happening was I would set this block and this, but only this one would show on the client. This one would be here because you couldn't walk into it, and as soon as you try to place another block in it, it would instantly replace it to be the end rod, because that's what was on the server. And no matter what I did, it would keep doing that. That's why I was trying it underground too. It just thought, well, if it's already a block, maybe it'll work. So I was doing, where is it? Sample item. Flags, I did individual flags, like 2, 3, then I ordered various different flags together to get it to do it. Nothing worked. In fact, let's bring this back now that we're having these issues with the entities now, just to make sure that we're setting the formation right, because the code of where it's getting the block position is the same for where we're telling the entities to go. Blocks.endrod. Okay, we gotta restart because that wasn't imported anymore apparently. Import blocks. So now what's going to happen is based on the numbers we have selected, it's going to try and build the formation in blocks and also send the guys there. So they'll have a block in their way that they'll need to deal with. And probably in the next 30 minutes or so, I'll have to stop streaming, guys. Need to take a break from it, and also wife will be home. Actually, is that her now? No, I don't hear it. But when she gets home, I want to stop. And we're gonna do some things tonight. There's a chance I'll stream later tonight, but I would say it's a small chance because it'll be pretty late if I do stream. 3, 4. Okay, we got 4 guys, so it should try and do the 4-block formation. See, it shows as 1, but as soon as I do that, look, they're there. So it knows the right formation. Those guys are gonna try and get into those spots. And they did a halfway decent job, but they stopped before the block. Like, I can see that guy's close enough, that guy's close enough, this guy's close enough, but this guy? You need to be back here, dude. What if I did it again? Hi, Philip. Not sure what you're saying, man. Google Translate doesn't know either. Is it because it's running on the client side was one of my thoughts, right? So I then looked at this context get player get world. He says hello in German? Yeah. Well, something's wrong with Google Translate then. It says German, but it says that is what it says in English too.
Moin service moin.
Yeah. Ah, okay. I do not know German, so thank you. So look at this one more time. Cause a block update. Sure, no problem with block updates. Send the change to the client. That's the piece that doesn't seem to be happening. So let's just set it to 2. Ignore all the other stuff. Where was it? There we go. Just send the change to the client so I can see the change, please. I have saved my code. We no longer have a star there. Go there. It does that one. What? Why are these not these other blocks getting the update? This code, this set formation, is being called multiple times in a for loop. I know you're probably following this, pro. If you know what this is, please let me know. The only other thing I can think of is to trigger the notify myself. Let's try that. World.notify. Was it mark and notify? BP. The chunk. I don't know what the chunk is. I don't really have to know what the chunk is. BP.get chunk? No. World.get chunk, probably. Yeah, but why would they do why would they? Oh. You know, you might be onto something with that, because when I built this fence, I just ran around and placed all the fences in, right? No big deal there. But then later, the fences randomly had changed their shape, like there was a block there. So like, you see how that one's like in a T-shaped? It was like that, but there was no block there. In a couple spots. Gosh, you're making me wonder if this is a Forge, like, just needs updated to get the latest bug fixes or something. Wait, which version of Minecraft is it? 1.14.4. Notify. So we want position. We don't care about the old state. I don't know why Minecraft even ever does that. At least it used to never care. And the new state and the flags. Flags number 2. Notify block update. What's this? Oh, it's abstracting this. So we need to... We need that name from this. So we're going to do a type hierarchy on this. And it's going to be a server world where this is running. And this flags isn't even looked at. What the heck? Mark block changes. Mark blocks changed. Let's leave it like that with this extra notify in here and see if it does it, but I don't suspect it will. Whatever. You know, sometimes I really enjoy working on Minecraft. Sometimes like this, it doesn't make any sense to me. I have another piece of code where I'm doing updates. And it works just fine without that extra notify in there. Right in here, I'm doing a set block state with flags of 3, which I also tried, and no notify anywhere, and it works. Maybe it's the mark dirty. Maybe it's doing the chunk update stuff too. Or the block updates. I don't know. Whatever. It works now. So now we can select just random guys and start seeing if it works. So that was 3 or 4. There's 5. That's correct. Here's 6. Yep. 7. Yep. 8. Right, I'm not calling it a loop, but in theory that shouldn't make a difference. But it is. There's all 9. Look at those guys go to their marks. They're pretty freaking close, except for these 2. That would be great if they like lined up like that. Now 10. 10 is where it's going to get funny. Yeah, see, that's the old code because I figured out the wrong number of rows basically. Because the first row is fine. The second row is where it's all bugged out because the second row is not a complete row when this happens because I'm doing it in 2 for loops. So like if you think of like drawing on the screen with X and Y coordinates, I'm doing it like that, and that always creates a rectangle, right? But we need to create a rectangle on all the full lines only, and then the last line needs to be a partial and centered. That statement might help me figure out how to do it now. Okay, so what I did before was I checked to see if we were on the last line. If we were on the last line, then we had a different piece of code we were running. So let's do that again, because that is the correct thing to do. I just had the wrong guts inside of it. So if j plus 1 equals our depth, then that means we're on our last row. Last row. Okay, so we need to figure out how many are left on that last row. And that's going to tell us how many we need to start putting in there. So remain equals, int remain equals size minus the width times j, which is the number of rows we have, basically. Okay, so that should tell us how many are left in theory. Now, I might be off by 1 on that. I'll figure out the fine details here in a second. Okay, so then we know how many are left on that last row. So we need to figure out what the offset is to center up that row. And that's going to be a new width offset, which is going to be not our width, but our remainder minus 1 divided by 2. Right, so if there's 3, that'll give us minus 1 will be 2, and we offset by 1, right? And then we should be able to do these two lines just like this to fill out that row. And then where it gets tricky is how do we do the rest of that row? We want to do our I all the way across, but never another J. And this else should be down here, like that. That's right, I make it all up as I go. Let's see now if we do this. Close. It went all the way across though. So our width isn't what we need to stop at. So if it's 3, it'll be 1 is our offset. We need to do one more step. So if I is less than remain. Let's try it now. That might work. The extra tail back there is this one down here because we created the extras from this before in the last row. So if we take that out and go boop, there we go. Okay. I need one less guy in my selection, so you get to die. I want to see if it does 9 right. It does. Hey, you're first. Get out of here. It does... that wrong. Right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My last man there didn't have a place to go. Let's make sure you select this though. Yeah, he doesn't have a place to go. So that could be... that could be... Hmm.
Thinking of drowning in his blue eyes. I'm losing sight 'cause I am falling. I'm so deep down, and it's not a lie that I die. I can't hide.
So when j equals 0 and our depth is 1, this would always be true, right? I think so. Let's do this. And size is less than or equal to 9. Okay, let's try it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we need another guy now. Nine. Boop. Perfect. 10. Perfect. $11, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it being weird like that for 11. Because right now my brain will explode if I try and fix it so it's even. At least for right now. There's 12, perfect. 13, again off-centered slightly, but okay. You know, we could fix that by making it go a third row back. 14. 15. 16. Perfect. I want to get like past 18 and see what it does before I call it as working all the way. Two complete rows. Awesome. Let's do it again. So these guys trying to line up on them a little bit. They're like fighting over the spots. Move them up one. Just keep moving them forward until they all kind of fall in the spot. Don't know that they will. Yeah, probably not. Okay. So we're at the moment of truth. Will this one work, right? Because it's going to be an extra one out the back. Awesome. Yes. Perfection. Okay, let's do one more. Make sure it evens back out. Yes. Now, let's do this. Right now, it's facing them to the north, right? So their formation points to the north. Let's have it point to the west instead. Okay. I click here. Boom. They're facing to the west. So now, based on the direction of the player, we can say, I want you guys to move there, and they'll be facing in that direction, kind of thing. We need to get that direction from the player, but that shouldn't be too hard. In fact, let's do that. And all of these columns of markers actually looks like army formations or something, right? So I like that. I wish these guys were very precise on their movements, but they're not for some reason. Okay, so we've got a context of a player. Can we, on that context, .get forward? And that's not really what I want. Direction. Okay, what about direction dot from angle? Okay, from the entities facing. There we go. So context get player. So now if we pass that to this, do we? Oh, really? Gets the enum facing values provided for the entity's looking direction, depending on the pitch and yaw of the entity. Oh, that's not what I thought it was. Is there another similar thing that doesn't encounter pitch? Get... No. Oh, along an axis, okay. Get facing from axis direction. The heck's an axis direction? Yeah, it returns an array of multiple directions, which we don't want because we only want the north, south, east, west ones. From a vector, do we have the get look? Is that a vector? Get facing from direction from vector. Get context dot get player get look. That is a vector right there. Returns a normalized vector where the entities is looking. Now you would think that get facing from vector wouldn't take an X, Y, and Z, it would just take the vector, but it doesn't. Let's dig into it for a second here. So its direction is going to face north by default. It loops through all of the directions values, apparently, and uses direction vector get x plus y times. Yeah, I don't know what that's going to do. It's going to give us the directions. I think the X and the Z are all we really need. The Y is probably what we don't want so that it doesn't ever show up as a vertical. Because I don't want a vertical direction. Or can we use a do.constrain? Let's see. Dot get X 0 that whole deal dot get Z dot it's the axis direction of the facing now. Horizontal angle. Horizontal index. Yeah, I think that's the best we're gonna do. See what that does. So if I look to the west, it's facing to the west. If I look to whatever this is, it's facing that way. If I look this way, it's that way. Awesome. If I look straight down, it goes that way, that way. I think it's working. Cool. So we can set our troops up to go and be prepared to go in the direction we want. Let's grab all of these guys that we can. We do have a block range on our entities here. Okay, so let's try and move everybody right there. If we have them selected and we'll go too far away from them, it won't try and move them the way it's set up right now. Ideally, this would be played in a world that is completely chunk loaded, so we don't have to deal with chunk loading all the time. So a constrained area of the world, right? Those guys are trying to go where we told them to go. That's for sure. Let's get back over here with them. Just so they're close to these guys. We'll add in these guys as well. And we're just going to keep expanding out our total selection. And let's do it much faster. Oops. And we'll put these guys right there for right now. Getting quite the array of them going. I spam clicked there, we may not have got them all. Looks like we got quite a few though. Oops. Let's also turn off the block placement for a moment because it's starting to get a bit too much in the world. Okay, this is enough guys, probably. So I want to select everybody. Oops, not with blocks in hand though. Just right-clicking like crazy, trying to get them all. Everybody come over here, get out of the way. Who doesn't move? Let's get rid of that as well. You didn't move, you didn't move, you didn't move. Okay, let's go hunting, boys. Come over here, please. Line up. Kind of feel like that guy in the story where he's like playing the flute and all the rats follow him out of town. March, boys. I'm continually clicking on the ground here, trying to get these guys to come down here in a somewhat organized fashion. I would love it if they all moved as one unit too. Like they wouldn't do this intertwining of where they're going and stuff. Like they walked in formation basically. Maybe I'll get there eventually. What are you airing off for now? Oh, I did the wrong thing. It's this one we need to do. Y'all gonna move? You are. Awesome. So now with that, do you all change positions constantly if I keep clicking the ground there? Oh, you're trying to get behind me because I'm facing that way, aren't you? There's just too much bumping. Okay. Well, this is still a playable thing, right? I can walk through the world and say, come on, come here to me. And they will. They don't all try and push into each other to get to one single spot, which is what my main goal in doing this formation was. I would love it to get them to be precise, though, and on the block that they're supposed to be on. All those heads popping up and down looking at me. Let's leave those guys right there for a moment. I'm going to go over here so they don't see me. And we're going to set up a bunch. We're going to get them all on green side before... supposed to be green's base here, right? Can we overtake green's base? And let green win here. And then we'll call our troops over here. And we'll do it immediately, because I don't want these guys to run too high in the numbers for green. Need to get that red guy over there dead, and this guy. Come on, green. There you go. Red guys, come here. Look at them coming in. Render distance there. Is that all of them? That's the question. It's all of them that are left. So these guys do despawn. I'll have to figure out how to handle that. I think this is a good way to end it, guys. As our red army completely gets demolished by the green ones here because I let them spawn too much before I called them over. Thanks for watching. Like I said, I might stream later on tonight, but it'll be much later. We've got some stuff going on tonight. So I will catch you guys later. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe.